Today we are talking about the Supreme Court case Texas versus Johnson. The slides we are lecturing over are by Vaughn Lugo, Nicholas Shue, and Aman Virk. Some background to this case. During the 1984 Republican National Convention in Dallas, Texas, Gregory Lee Johnson participated in a political demonstration to protest certain policies of the Reagan administration. As part of his protest, Johnson burned an American flag while protesters chanted, "America, the red, white, and blue, we spit on you." The act was caught on tape and later led to Johnson's arrest under a Texas law that prohibited the desecration of venerated objects, including the American flag.
Question number 1. For a can of Red Bull, where did Johnson burn a U.S. flag?
We move to the arguments of the petitioner. The state of Texas argued that Johnson's actions were not protected under the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech. Texas contended that the flag was a symbol of national unity and that its desecration could not be considered a legitimate form of protest. The state asserted that protecting the flag as a symbol of national unity was a compelling state interest that justified limiting Johnson's right to free speech in this instance.
Question number 2. For a can of Red Bull, what is one argument of the petitioner?
Arguments of the defendant. Johnson argued that his actions were a form of symbolic speech protected by the First Amendment. He claimed that burning the flag was a powerful form of protest that expressed his dissatisfaction with certain government policies, particularly those related to the Reagan administration's foreign policies. Johnson maintained that his actions were intended to draw attention to what he saw as injustices and that they were therefore protected under the Constitution.
Question number 3. For a can of Red Bull, what is one argument of the defendant?
Ruling and constitutional justification. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Johnson, holding that flag burning was a form of symbolic speech protected by the First Amendment. The majority opinion, written by Justice William Brennan, relied on the principle that the government cannot prohibit the expression of an idea simply because society finds it offensive or disagreeable. The court emphasized that protecting unpopular or controversial speech is essential to the functioning of a democratic society. Chief Justice and majority opinion. The Chief Justice at the time was William Rehnquist. However, the majority opinion was written by Justice William Brennan. Brennan's opinion emphasized the importance of protecting political expression, even when it takes the form of symbolic acts that some may find offensive. He argued that the government's interest in preserving the flag as a symbol of national unity did not outweigh Johnson's First Amendment rights in this case.
Question number 4. For a can of Red Bull, what was the majority opinion for the case?
Why we study this case. This case is crucial because it reaffirmed the protection of symbolic speech under the First Amendment, even in cases where the speech is deeply offensive to some. It established that the government cannot prohibit expression based on its content or message. A principle that has been influential in subsequent free speech cases. The case is often studied because it highlights the tension between the protection of individual rights and the preservation of national symbols. And it underscores the importance of protecting unpopular or controversial speech.